Hello, I'm going to give a set of beginner ukulele classes to get anyone started who might not have found the right teacher online. There's a lot of great ones, and so my lessons are going to be for a very beginner and go over in a very simplistic way other aspects of the ukulele that make it such a great instrument, super fun, lots of great opportunities to learn a lot of great things. So I'm amateur at this whole video making process, but we're going to dive in. I'm going to show you how I teach my students in my classes, and so hopefully if anybody else out there wants to learn and can use my method to do so, that would be super wonderful. I'm so excited to do that. So I do have my chart of things I want to cover, because as a beginner video maker, that's just the best way I think to go about this. So let's just start with the benefits. So number one, it's fun. It's a fun instrument. It's inexpensive. It's accessible. You can borrow them. It's social when you get together with others, and you don't have to know a lot of chords, but you can take this instrument all the way to be just as complex as any other musical instrument. So that being said, remember it's easy compared to some harder instruments like say a violin, which also has 4 strings, but there's a lot of, there's no frets, you've got to use a bow. So this is really accessible. Now, you can get together with others. So let's move on to, and how portable it is, right? So we've got options on how to get a hold of one. Sometimes you'll have a friend that has one and you can borrow. You can rent them inexpensively from music stores. Purchase one, not too expensive if you're not sure if you're going to stick with it. So, make sure that money doesn't become an issue before you decide if a reasonable quality one will work. So one of the things with a very inexpensive one is that it won't hold a tune. It won't hold the strings in tune. So you need those to be in tune. As a starter player, the strings are going to need to stretch, and so it won't stay in tune immediately, and you will need to check your tuning of your strings every time you go to play to make sure they're in tune. So after a while, you'll know if it just won't hold a tune that it's probably too inexpensive. The tuning pegs are not holding the position that you need them to be in. But other than that, so this is what's called a concert size. That's sort of the fancy word for it. And it's a medium ukulele size. I've got another one that is, just to demonstrate the difference, is the soprano size. Now, it doesn't matter how big or small you are as a person, you can play any size of them. It's just that one of the benefits for the small instrument is that there's less tension pulling on these strings. So for little fingers that are quite small and delicate, it's easier to press down on the nylon strings. So that's a consideration. The way that it fits your body, and we'll go into that when we talk about how to hold the instrument. So we've got this tuning pegs here. We've got the headstock, 4 strings. We've got the nut here, and here is going to hold it into tune that we set it in with these. You've got the fretboard, fret wires, right? We've got little markers on the sides. We'll go into why that is. I have a built-in tuner on this one. That's not necessary. You can use your smartphone to tune your instrument, or a clip-on tuner. The body of the instrument, I do have a strap, but I suggest that you try to start your initial playing without a strap. And we're going to just talk about a little bit. I'm not going to go into any depth about tuning because there's lots of information out there about how to tune your instrument, but there are 2 things that people run into as beginners, and I want to go over those. So the first one will be turning one of the pegs, but not trying to tune the corresponding string. So you can be turning this peg, but think that you're tuning this string. So what you want to do as a new player is follow it up. Make sure you're on the peg of the string you're trying to tune. The other thing I want to point out is in a standard strung instrument, you will have 2 on the top going onto the peg this way, and 2 going onto it this way at the bottom. They're entering the string this way in a standard wound string. So when you're doing a tightening operation up here, you're going away from yourself, and when you're doing the same function to tighten, you're coming towards yourself down here. So just be aware of that, you know, and you'll get the tuning pretty soon. You'll be a pro on it. I've already tuned this instrument up. So like I say, you can buy a clip-on tuner that works on vibration. You can download a tuning app to your smartphone if you've got one. And the strings in this, what is called a C-tuned instrument, and we'll talk more about why that would be called a C-tune. The string names, let's have a way to remember. So the way I came up with is giraffes can eat apples. So that would mean this would be a G note, a C, an E, and an A. And we'll get more into music theory, but right now we want to just understand that on the ukulele, what makes it sort of unique is that this note up here is higher than the one below it. So that's called re-entrant tuning. You don't need to know anything about that. And you can substitute this out for a low G, but that's not anything that you need to be concerned with at your very beginning. Okay, so we've got a couple, we've talked a little bit about different sizes. And there are a variety of other sizes. There's a bass ukulele, etc. Just like it's strung like a standard bass instrument, bass guitar. So we want to now look a little bit more. So we've got these fret wires. We have 3 numbers that we always talk about when we're playing an instrument, a stringed instrument. We have the strings. Now these are given a note. Well, they are pitched to a note, but they're also given a number. So we always number the strings of a stringed instrument from the floor. So this is string 1, string 2, string 3, string 4, and that becomes more important as you go along in your musical learning. So we have finger numbers. So thumb doesn't get a number, unlike in piano, it's back here. And this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So far we've got string numbers, just like the elevator in a building, 1, 2, 3, 4 going up. And finger numbers. Then we also have these frets. We number these, and depending on the size, you're going to have fewer or more frets as you have a longer neck and a bit bigger instrument. So now we've got the string numbers, finger numbers, fret numbers. We're going to move on to how to hold it correctly. Okay, so the way that I teach people, and you have to get used to this, we repeat this each lesson that I give you. I set this sort of, and I get quicker and quicker as we go through it. So take some time in this first one to just get used to holding the instrument and be comfortable. So sitting upright as best you can, so your spine is straight, your shoulders are going to be straight. And one of the things that people will do is they will start to try to curve their body around the instrument. And what you want to do is make sure that you move the instrument and you try and keep your body relaxed but firm enough. Okay, so in this situation, I've got this bump sort of under my chin and across my body at a 45-degree angle. Okay, so then I'm going to come across where this part here is, the strings in the saddle, so that it's midline, and I'm going to just grasp it there for the time being. Okay, so I've got this out here a little bit, not too far, not out here, but not back. And then I'm going to have this arm with my thumb up, and I'm going to count 1, 2 frets, thumb, press it against the back of the neck, not too hard, just laying there for, you know, sort of resting. And then what happens is I'm going to form a chord. You won't know this yet, but I'm going to form a 2-note fretted chord here. And I'm showing you that the fingers work together. So I've come around. There's a gap here between the neck and my hand. And that's because I've played for a long time, I'm able to do that. But we want to try and get good technique to develop hand strength in this left hand. So thumb and back behind the 2nd fret space. We extend the hand fully, and I call this the full octopus. We don't want to just see the fingers out front. We want to stretch through here so that we're all the way out, and then we've got lots of, our wrist is straight. So if we don't do this where we've got a little bit extension there, we end up doing this 45 on the wrist, and we don't want to do that. So this is a good time to really spend a minute there, extend, curl, and just place your fingers anywhere on 2 notes with fingers 1 and 2. And this is an F shape, so I'm using the 1st finger, 2nd string, 1st fret, 4th string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret, and I'm pressing those down. Now I'm going to come back here. The trick is to hold it so that it doesn't feel like it's running away on you, which is very frustrating, is holding it firm with the forearm against the body. And then we play here. We don't play here. We play where the neck and the body overlap. We get more resonance there by playing there. So I've got my hand loose. I'm just going to do some of this. Loose wrist, loose wrist. Okay? Forearm is firm, wrist is loose. So take a minute to feel the muscle function here, but the also looseness here. Still sitting up straight, breathe and relax, and loose wrist, forearm pulling and feeling secure. Hand is secure here. Now I'm going to form what I call my strumming hand. I've got my fingers up like that. I'm going to fold these back, make the little L shape, and I'm going to use my fingernail like a little tortoise shell to come up to the top of the strings. I'm not going to dig in, and I'm not going to hit the fretboard. I'm just going to, but not too lightly, come across the strings. So I'm going to do a down strum, and we're going to go again to the F chord, but let's return up here to the left hand again and make the most popular chord in Western music, which is also why the ukulele is considered easy, because you only have to press in one place. So let's use our 3 numbers that we've learned. Finger number that we're going to use is 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have thumb and back. Third finger is what we need, and we're going to walk up to 1, 2, the 3rd fret on the 1st string and press down. And we'll tweak where exactly to fret on that space there as we go along. Just don't be on the fret wire itself. I've got my fingers working together, forearm pulling in, release the wrist, form my L, fingernail comes here, and we're going to do 4 down strums. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now we're going to form our F chord, which is our second chord that we want to learn in our learning process here. Is we're going to take 1st finger, and we're going to do again 2nd string, 1st fret. Then we're going to go up to the, we're going to use our 2nd finger up on the 4th string, 2nd fret. So that's, this one's not being fretted and this one is, but these 2 are, and we're going to come back, firm grip, and strum 4 beats. 1, 2. Now we can move between F and C. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that at all times we're always pressing somewhere so that this is working together. So when I'm here on an F chord and I've got that finger available to make the C, it's already going to come down and thumb still is in place, and I'm going to strum that for 4. Now one of our other options is to do just 1 strum and count for 4. That's called a whole note. 1, 2, 3. And thinking about trying to get to that F chord. Now where was that? It was 2nd string and 4th string, 1st and 2nd frets, and 1 strum, 3, 4, and 1 strum. Back to the C, and I didn't let go of these until I had this other one in position. Now let's put them on again for an F. We've got 1st finger, 2nd string, 1st fret, 2nd finger, 4th string, 2nd fret. That's an F, and it's on the chord chart that's in the description box. 3, 4, and F, 2, 3, back to C. Good. 2, 3, 4. Let's form the F again. There we go. 2, 3, 4. Now the 3rd chord that we want to learn before we finish up for today, and I will send you off to learn those 3 chords, and you can play songs with me in my 2nd video that I'll upload shortly after this one, is that so far we've learned the C major chord. So there we go, 1, 2, 3, pressing, thumb and back, and then we learned the F major chord. Now the 3rd chord that I teach people is the G7 chord, and that's got one of the notes already being pressed down. So that's that note there. So that's 1st finger, 2nd string, 1st fret. And then we move this one down 1. So now we've got that 2nd finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and we want to move this one directly under it. So if you look at your chord chart, you'll see it's like a little triangle. And we're going to strum that 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's slide the ring finger, the 3rd finger, to the C. So we haven't let go. 2, 3, 2 bars of each. 1, 2, and we'll talk about what that word bar means. Now F. So here we go, nice and slow. 1st finger, 2nd string, 1st fret, We've got up to the top, 4th string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Pause, and now leave this index finger or 1st finger in place. Move this down 1 floor. Tilt the hand a little bit towards the headstock so that you can get that other finger down on that 1st string, 2nd fret. 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and let's return home, and we'll talk about more why that's called home. We're going to go to the C chord. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And just before I leave you, one last tiny little thing that I want you to try to do. It's a great thing to learn to train your musical ear, right? Your ears are amazing miracles on your body, and they can help you with your inner instrument, which is your voice. Now, I've had many people say that they don't know how to sing, and they've had a lot of very scarring and bad experiences as children. But if you wanted to reawaken your voice and gain some confidence, what you can do in the privacy of your home is take your in-tune string, C string, which is your lowest note on this tuned instrument, and just pluck it. So I've got my fingers down here, and I'm using my thumb to come across the string. So I'm playing an individual note, not a chord, and I'm listening closely. And then I'm going to try to sing that tone. Now, this is quite a challenging exercise, but it's very, very helpful to work your voice so that it gets a chance to learn an in-tune note. Okay, so we're going to try and sing that, and then we're just going to go la. And you can even use your tuner to sing into to see how you're doing as you go along. You know, perhaps a year from now, you'll be able to sing a lot of very in-tune notes if that's a goal that you'd like to do. And then that will translate into your singing of songs. Okay, I hope that helped you get started and feel comfortable. If you liked the video, please subscribe for more videos and pass it on to anybody who you think might benefit from it. So like and subscribe and comment. Give me some feedback if you feel like doing that. And I hope that helped you. Have a wonderful day.